Hello, everyone. Welcome back and welcome to Choices Life Coaching. And as we continue, I would just like to, you're free to ask me any questions that you would like. And I would just like to say thank you to Mrs. Lavon for reaching out and asking me a question, and I answered it. You can also do you can call in too if you want. We can do like if we're live on the air, you can ask your question unless you don't want it to be live on the air. But like not real. Well, we'll see. And anyhow, I haven't even mentioned that I have 3 books that are on Amazon Kindle that is actually available at the moment. It's My Journey to Healing and Journey to Healing, Business Success for Coaches and Counselors, and Marketing Basics Led by the Spirit. And you can also call in to Ask Jennifer, and it is 201-749-1918, or you can text message me, or ask me a question, and I will do my best to answer. Hey, Brian, how you doing? How is everything? Oh my God, look at your son. He is big. How old is he now, Brian? He's what, 5, 6? How's everything? Hope everything's okay. Nice to hear from you. Say hi to the missus, okay? And say hi to the missus and hope everybody's doing well. Make sure you stay safe, okay, Brian? And put on your PPE, your protective, what do you call that? MA, protective personal equipment, your PPE. Put on your mask, okay? And on that note, let us continue with tolerating and accepting, okay? Tolerating and accepting. And in this book, or in this book, you want to know where I'm teaching from? I'm actually teaching from my school books that I had to study from. So how else can I teach them if I don't coach them? So I'm coaching you live on via Facebook. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, now here's the thing. Accepting what you can't change. And do you hear that serenity prayer? God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change and the courage to change the things that I can. That is such a powerful prayer as well as an affirmation, because some things we cannot physically do within our own strength. But there's nothing impossible to God. God can do all things. And sometimes, like, to keep the peace, yeah, like pursue peace at all times. And there's a way to be tactful to get your point across, okay? And that would be, there's a difference between confrontation and caring. So just try to, at least with the power of purpose. This gentleman's name is Peter Tamiz, and he has the advances on the idea that when we experience difficulty, like the Western response, and I say the Western response is to change our external circumstances, while the Eastern response is to alter our inner attitude and responses to make peace with those circumstances. Here are some questions that focus on changing our inner attitude Okay, and let God deal with the external circumstances, because there are things that we don't have any control of, but there are things how we can act internally and changing our inner attitude so that the external stuff like doesn't bother us. You understand? And as you change inwardly, because you have the power of God within you, you will notice that your outward experiences will change as well. Okay, now the thing is that I have to deal with so many things. I get challenged on every front, and I still have to remain in peace, and I still have to find my happy space and my happy place, and like just keep on keeping on and keep on keeping on and try to remain positive, because that's life. And I never used to be like that. I used to be a reactive instead of a responsive. Now, what is it that what would you need to change in your attitudes or responses for you to function at the best in the midst of this? I guess I can say this would be the pandemic. This would be this racial tension. This could be your personal relationship, family relationship, within your company, within your community, within your own living quarters and space. Okay, we all have to like really take a look at our own personal inner peace, and once you get that inner peace, the outside stuff really doesn't matter. Why? Because they don't have any power over you. Okay, hi Levon, welcome back, honey. You understand? We all have to get to that space and place within ourselves that people's negativity, you understand, won't get to us. Because why? We have to find that inner peace and inner strength within us. And things that we can't change, only God can change people. And I had to realize that. And I used to be saying, oh God, would you change this person or change that person and change that person? Man, all like change this person and change that person. And all the while, God showed me that He's going to start dealing with me. And once I pressed into God, look for the solutions within the word, is that, okay, God change me so that I can deal, so that I know how to deal or respond to them. Because there comes a time and a point in my life where, okay, Father, I was so powerless that, when I say powerless, like really, really powerless, I had no influence, even though I did had influence within a certain sphere. But when it came to like my relationship and authority and all this other kind of stuff, I had to learn submission. But once God had enough, and I had enough was enough. When I was done, I was done. And today can honestly say that me and my ex-husband were cordial, and me and the children, we get along really, really well. We've forgiven each other and we're at peace now. But we both know that there are boundaries, and he knows what boundaries not to cross, and I know what boundaries not to cross. And he doesn't push my buttons like he used to, because he used to say things and do things to just like get underneath my skin. And then it'll turn from a conversation into a friggin' argument. And I had made up my mind that I'm not going to argue with him over anything. And that was what I did. I just stopped arguing with him. I literally just stopped arguing with him. And Then he realized he was standing there arguing by himself. And then he would just be like, oh shit, she ain't listening to me. And he'd go on about his business. But the thing is that what could or would you change in your attitude or responses for you to function at your best in the midst of this? This could be anything within our life circumstances. And if this circumstance is hard to get rid of, okay, or is beyond my control, how can you choose to experience it differently? Okay, if you can't change this, whatever this thing is, how can you make your peace with it? Okay, exactly. Know your boundaries, respect your own boundaries, and have people respect your boundaries. They're going to test you at one point. But the thing is, you want to make peace. The thing is, you don't want to implode the relationship that you currently have. No, you want to be as diplomatic as possible, because these people they are valuable to you. You understand? Thank you, Levon. Thank you. The thing is that because these people, or the job, the company, the relationship, whatever the situation is that they are valuable and precious to us. And sometimes it's not them personally that it is. It's sometimes they are pressured from outside circumstances, life, money, finances. You understand? They may have a bad day at work or whatever, and they don't know how to express it. So they take it out on you. And then some people deal with such insecurities within themselves, like, you understand that like, okay, that has nothing to do with me. So you just learn to just like accept the things that we can. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And it is such a powerful prayer, but it actually puts you in alignment with God and your creator and the inner being. For the simple fact is that I have no control over another person, of what a person says, does, do, be, act, or respond or react. All I had to learn to do was control me. And that was where the difference came in. That was where I became more centered, more focused, more intentional. You understand? And I just had to, like everybody, I realized that as an instructor and that a teacher, is that when you have a classroom full of students, and since I'm the quintessential student, everybody in the classroom is at a different level, and people are on their own personal journey and walk in life. Some spiritual, some need to grow spiritually, some need to grow emotionally, some need to grow mentally and psychologically. So you have to sometimes be the bigger person and meet them where they are at, because everybody is not on the same emotional level, psychological level, financial level, physical level. Like me right now, if me and Kobe was to get on the basketball court, who would win? Kobe, because if I was to go up against one of the Lady Liberties, you understand, I would lose. But the simple fact is that physically, we're not on the same level. You understand? So when if you experience circumstances and this is hard to get rid of or is beyond your control, or how you can choose to experience life differently or to deal with the situation differently, if you can't change this, how can you make peace with it? And that is what I had to learn. I had to learn to make peace with whatever it was. And what is this experience teaching you? You understand? Is it building character? Is it building stick to itiveness? You understand? What is the gift of that this pain brings? Because the pain is bringing something, but sometimes there is a gift that is attached to it. And what good could come from this experience? Or how could this teach you compassion, grace, endurance, empathy, and also in the development of one's character? Because you know, you understand, if you look at every situation and everything as a life lesson in life, God is teaching us all the time. If we just stop to be a little bit more observant, you know, we're really invested in with all our emotions and feelings, but sometimes just take a step back and be an observer and see it from a viewpoint, watch over the situation, you understand, and let God do what God can do, and we can only do what we can do. Okay, when you get to that point, research on survivors found that we are either broken by suffering, or we survive it, you understand, and get life back to normal, or it becomes a defining moment within our own life. How could this experience become a defining moment within you, or and for you? Where do you rise up and engage in it and out of it, of what you were made to be, or what it is you're supposed to learn from this experience, moving in the opposite spirit? Okay, now, one way of working at changing an attitude or a character trait is that you may not like something about yourself, or you may not like something about another person, but I'm always telling you the one thing: focus on you becoming better, because you have no control over other people. You understand what I'm saying? You don't have any control over other people. And I found that as a single woman, that I try not to get, I remember, and I love my sister. Love her, love her, love her, love her dearly. And I remember she was studying, she was in school and she was getting a nursing degree, and she was married, and she was and working full time and all this other kind of stuff. And I had just had an operation. I think it was my third operation, my myomectomy. And I, you know, I love her, and I love her family, and I love her children. And God placed me around them for all three operations so that I wouldn't feel the loss of not giving birth or becoming a mother. And those children loved me to the point of, you understand? And while she was in school, I took care of the house, took care of the children. And then I think one point, and the thing is, we had never and at the time, in all the 45 years, me and my sister never got into a verbal confrontation, or we never got into a play of words or something like that. But anyway, we finally got into an argument, and I started smoking cigarettes again. I sat in my car. I went to the liquor store and bought a bottle of Bacardi. And I drank the bottle of Bacardi and I started smoking and I just started crying because we had got into, and I was like, and I'm not a confrontational type of person, but I just the thought that we had got into an altercation, and the thing is that I just love them so much. So I'm laying in my car in her backyard, right? I'm laying in my car, in the backyard, because basically what happened? What the heck did we fight over? But anyway, we went to Chernobyl's, and on the way back from Chernobyl's, wait a minute. Like she was giving orders, and whatever it was. And I just had a hysterectomy, so my stitches and everything. And just for some reason, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I was like, instead of you doing and we got into this physical verbal thing, and I was so hurt because I stayed in the car, and I think the thing that hurted me the most was that we physically got into a verbal, and the kids was looking at us like, Auntie Nana, Mommy, what are you doing? Her husband was looking at us like, what the heck happened? And then I just couldn't take it. And then I just started crying because my entire life, she's my biggest supporter, one of my closest friends, but we had never verbally, you understand? Because my dad used to give us those spankings. We weren't allowed to fight amongst ourselves. We will team up and we will fight you, but we weren't allowed to fight amongst ourselves. And anytime my father would see us fighting each other or getting into words with each other, he'd be like, what? And so anyway, I sat in my car, and then I remember the kids was on the deck saying, Auntie Nana, dinner's ready. Are you coming inside for dinner? But by then I had drank all the daggone Bacardi, so I couldn't even get up to go into the house to have dinner, to sit at the table, and I just fell asleep. And then once I sobered up, you can't make this stuff up. And this is one of the few times, because I drink and I know my limit. Once I sobered up, I just got in my car and I went home, and I didn't call her. She didn't call me. And then eventually we forgot about it. And then on my birthday, my sister called me and the kids called me, and we've made up and we've been cool since. But sometimes, we just have to, I had to respect her and she respects me. And now, we speak to each other and we see each other when we see each other. But because I love them and I really do love my family, sometimes I just let stuff go. When I can't deal with something, I can't deal with it. And stuff that I can deal with, I deal with. But because they mean so much to me, I would rather just find a peaceful solution, because I remember what my life was before God restored me back to my family. And I remember what it was without them and missing them and not being able to do Christmas and Thanksgiving and birthdays. And and barbecues, Easter dinner, Mother's Day. I remember all of that stuff, and I would rather have them around me and be around them to have not for them to be a part of my life. So it's like in any relationship in life, choose your battles, okay? And some things you have to just let go. And ever since then, we haven't had a mince of words or anything like that. But we just have to be able to somebody's got to be the bigger person. You understand? We have to learn how to be confrontational without dropping a nuclear bomb and blowing up the entire thing. You understand? Because that's not good. Okay, when you're moving in and in the opposite way of changing an attitude or character trait is that you may not like about yourself to intentionally is to do the opposite. These questions are examples of how you might help your clients or my coaches or a family member or a coachee when you have to pay attention and identify practical, simple steps that you can take to move away from unhealthy life patterns, okay? Paterns. And I say life patterns is because you value the relationship, you value the people. How can I change myself within me so that certain things around me don't affect me? Okay, it's like trying to quit cigarettes. Now I don't even smoke cigarettes anymore. I had to learn to I chewed so much daggone Trident. Oh my God. Anyway, life feels like a drudgery. What are the 10 simple things that you can do that would give you joy? Pick one or two and then tell me how you can do more of that, okay? Tell me how it is that you can do what? If I'm a self-centered person, what are the 10 things that I could do or that you can do in the next 30 days to bless or serve those around you? Or pick 5 people and ask each one of them to name something else that they did that someone else did for them in the last few months that made their day. Okay, what was the last thing that somebody did for you or that you did for somebody, okay, that just made that person's day and you'd be like, all right, you understand? If you feel tired, you understand, because sometimes people get a little depressed or they may be feeling sad, or you can get up and do something for that person to cheer them up. You understand? And if you're tired, what are the 5 things that feeds your soul? How could you add more of these things to your schedule? And if you're frustrated with a team, or if you're frustrated with my own team, or if you're frustrated with your own team, let's see if we can turn that around. And what are the 2 great qualities of each of your teammates? Can you challenge to find ways to publicly affirm those qualities in each teammate like this month? Okay, so if you are an employer and you have employees, okay, and what are some things that as the boss, you understand, be a little bit tactful. What are some of the things that you can do to turn around a situation? What are the two great qualities for each of your teammates? Can you challenge to find ways to publicly affirm those qualities in each teammate for this month? Okay. Now, a next thing is the toleration exercise, to get together with your peers or people that you love and respect, your peers. Okay, here's the challenge as you partner with them. Can you help him or her identify at least 5 tolerations of energy things that drains your energy, drains the joy and your peace of mind? Okay. And the next thing is then take one or more things that you're tolerating, because we're all tolerating something. We're all tolerant of something, someone, something, or something in life. Right now, we have to be tolerant with COVID-19. For real. If not, we will be so infected and the hospitals will be packed again with people just dropping dead from COVID-19. So we have to be tolerant, because if you haven't noticed, there's a spike in the death toll and the infection rate. You understand? We all want change, and we all know that Black Lives Matter, and we all want to see the government do better, society do better. You understand? But we have to be a little bit more. We're putting our lives on the line because it is something that is dear to each and every one of our hearts. You understand? But we have to do it wisely. Wear your protective put on, don't be running around outside without any protection. You understand what I'm saying? Wear your PPEs. Even if they tell you, oh, don't wear your PPE. When I say PPE, it is called personal protective equipment. Okay? Protect yourself and be smart, because you are the only you that you have. Okay? Now, you have to get to the point where you have to learn self-care. Self-care is, if lasting fulfillment or significance comes from expanding your world by loving and serving other people, one starting place is asking yourself, what do I have to give? Really, what do I have to give? And I remember when I first came to God, I was like such a broken piece of mess, and I didn't have anything to give. When I say absolutely nothing, I ain't had no money. I didn't have no material possessions. I had nothing. All I had was a heart. So I decided, let me give God my broken, shattered heart. And once I did that and made the commitment to give God my broken, shattered heart, He started healing it and putting the pieces back together. And then I had to learn to give myself time and let myself heal. And I had to learn, it is in this fast-paced, driven culture, often the answer is not much, but when your best energy goes towards surviving instead of thriving, there isn't much left for thriving. You understand? Let alone forgiving, because you're always in survival mode. So at some point, like, when are we going to get out of survival mode and get into thriving mode? And I say that in respect as self-care. When it comes to self-care in our work, money, living environment, personal growth, health, recreation, community, family, and your spiritual walk with God. Okay? You have to take all of these into consideration when it comes to your own personal self care. And so often, a step in pursuing your calling is figuring out how to love yourself well. And a lot of people don't do that because I didn't know how to do that. I had to learn how to do that. Hi, Victor. Welcome back. Thanks for joining. Ah, awesome. And you be that. You understand? Be the bigger person. And sometimes you just have to be that because, let go of stuff and let God do what you can. You have to do that. And I had to find my own space and peace. And sometimes I feel like I'm being pulled in one direction and then I'm being pushed in another direction. And then another times I feel like I'm being stretched in every area. But that is because God wanted me to grow. GROW, GROW. And sometimes he will put us in a state of instability so that we can learn to be stable even while the storm is raging. Do that make sense? You understand? And that is sometimes what we need. And I had to learn to say, bless them, bless them, bless them, bless them. I'm blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. I am blessed. And then I had to learn to bless those that curse me and say all manner of not so nice things about me. I had to look at Serena and Venus when they was growing up and when they started their career in the sometimes some people was nice to them and some people wasn't nice to them. People say all manner, some people said mean things to them. And they was always very respectful, very committed. And what was the one thing that they loved so much that they didn't want anybody to take away from them? And that was their tennis. You understand what I'm saying? And Jamie Foxx, much respect. When he did that movie of Ray Charles, and when he was finally kicking, and you understand, he had the one thing. His mom came to him while he was in that rehab or whatever, and what it say, don't let anything make you a cripple. You understand? Sometimes and this is where people don't think the devil exists, but the devil actually does exist. And it comes to kill, steal, and destroy what? Your health, your family, your relationships, your beauty, your finances. It will try to steal the things that you love. And these are things that God has given you. And then you have to learn not to love. You understand? We have to learn to hold them closely, but don't strangle them in the process, because we still have to respect their decisions and their own opinions, because people have what they call free will, and free will means just that, free will. You understand? And we have to learn, when it comes to our own self-care, is that we have to be able to take care of our emotions. I went through so much trauma, and then I would see people walking around talking to themselves, women standing in the friggin' street butt naked, ass out, tits out, just out of their friggin' mind. And I would look and I'm like, okay, Jennifer, no matter what it is, you let it go. You let it go, let it go, let it go, let go of the bitterness, the toxicness, the craziness. You see people sleeping in the subway, in Penn Station, because they either have been traumatized to the point that they don't know how to come back to that. You understand? From the break into them emotionally, physically, psychologically, mentally, their spirit is just broken and they don't know. You understand? So you don't want anything to steal your peace of mind. You hear this? A peace of mind is priceless, priceless. Emotional health and physical health, I don't care how much money, if they drop that daggone planet from Venus that is made out of nothing but diamonds and dropped it onto the earth. You understand? If I am a Looney Tune and crazy and you understand? Or I'm physically incapable of enjoying the wealth or the family or whatever it is. I have to be emotionally sound, psychologically sound, because once you understand what I'm saying? You have to find your own ways of taking care of yourself. Let's try to get in touch with what it is that your emotions are saying to you. You understand? Pull out your date book and start to like make a list and let go of your feelings. If you can't say anything to somebody else regarding anything, you can always pick up a pen and a piece of paper. And it is the most freeing thing. It's very lethargic. Write it. Write. Do a brain dump and just write until you get it out of your system. And then after you've done everything that you could possibly do with that, give it to God, okay? And who knows? Don't throw away your journals. Who knows? You can put everything together and make an ebook. Or write your own biography or tell your own story of whatever. But you have to find ways to be constructive, okay? Then we have to start to listen to our bodies, okay? What is your body saying regarding peace or about your own pace? Are you ready to face each day, or is it tough to roll out of bed? What physical signs do you need to pay attention to? You understand? Do you need to pay attention? What is your body saying to you? What is your health saying to you? You understand? What are the people close to you saying about your pace or your schedule? Or what do you think that they'd like to hear from you? Here's another thing. Have you put so much on your plate that you become so busy that you don't have time to rest or to think or to spend time with your family? And there's so many good things that has come from this COVID-19 because people are spending a lot more time with their spouses and with their family members, because at one time, what was happening? Everybody was so busy that they didn't spend time with each other and they didn't spend time with their families. So there's some good things that has come from this, okay? Then you also have to realize that what do you gain from living an adrenaline fueled lifestyle, and what is driving you and what causes you to keep choosing that pace and that level of stress? You understand? Some people are alpha personalities, ALPHA. and adrenaline junkies and people like jumping off mountains and jumping out of airplanes and climbing Mount Everest. And that, I'm not doing any of that. Why? I'm afraid of heights. Height. And believe it or not, that like I would love to do like a parachute, and I probably would. Whew. I may forget to either pull the thing too soon or too late. Too soon or too late, and then what happens? So, making a change of pace. What would your ideal pace look like? And describe a day or a week or a life lived at this particular pace. Okay, like Oprah was the bionic woman. Okay, she could do a show at such and such a time, jump in her jet, go to Africa, deal with some orphanages, come back. Then she would come back, fly to the United States, deal with some producing stuff and all this other kind of stuff. But, you know, she had the money and the means to do that. So if you were living at a certain pace, and you had the means to do what it was that you do, you understand what would your week look like? What would your life look like? What smaller changes could you make immediately? And you have to free up your time and energy and tackle the bigger challenges that you face. When Tyler Perry was promoting like half of his plays and his book, he'd be sitting there on the TV, on the phone. He'd be like, I'm exhausted. I'm so tired. But I noticed that when I watched him do a promotion, when he was promoting A Fall from Grace, GRACE, I noticed that within 1 week, he did like 25 interviews for those ladies. He was on Good Morning America. He was on not Regis and Kelly and Michael Strahan. And then he went to another TV, and then he was just interviewing all over the place. And I sit down and I'm saying to myself, can you live at that pace? Can you? What is your pace? What does your work life, home life, social life, personal life, what does it look like? Okay. Are you a workaholic? Or are you lazy? LAZY? Like, where are you finding your balance? Okay. And what one change would you make the biggest difference in your stress level? And if you set out to cut your stress level by 80%, what would you remove from the schedule or take off your plate? And let's take a look at the process. How do things that aren't your priority end up on your schedule? Can you give me a few examples? And you have to always remember that if it's on the schedule, for me, I live by my schedule, literally, because if I don't put it onto the schedule, it won't get done. Literally, it won't. I literally have to have my schedule and the things that I can do, the things that I can't do, and life balance and priorities, okay? We all juggle many tasks and responsibilities, and this is all a part of self-care. You understand? You have to take care of yourself in a certain area. Do you know how to unwind when it's time to unwind? Okay. What led you to want to focus on life balance now at this particular point within your life? And that is very important because you need harmony and balance. And what makes this a priority on a scale, SCALE, of 1 to 10? How do you feel about your life balance right now? What high priority area of life is working best for you? What are your most needs? Like, what need do you have right now at this point in your life that needs attention? You understand? What low priority area is stealing your most of your time and energy from you? You understand what's stealing your energy, your peace? Okay, now it sounds like this has been nagging at me for a long time, right? Sometimes things can be nagging, and it's like, what is it that, how do you tackle it? Do you want to reevaluate it? Do you want to tackle it? You understand? But you haven't found the energy to tackle it? Or is it fear? Is it energy? Is it procrastination? All of these things you have to take a look at, and take a look at it. You must. Okay? Now, how well does the way you spend your time and money align with your heart, with your VALUES, and your mindset? Are you in alignment? This is all part of self-care. And if you had total freedom to rearrange your life today to align with your values, with no outside obstacles or objections, okay, what would be your top priority? What would be the thing that you would prioritize and put at the top of the list? So for the solutions that I've heard, and for the solutions that I've suggested, and the solutions that you're reintroducing into your life, into your time, and into your space, keep in mind that reducing down time is a discipline, and that takes energy as well. And how could you make this change without reducing your own downtime, your own personal mental time? You understand, without that time that you need to catch up with yourself, okay? And then you're going to take those 8 categories on the life wheel that I mentioned: work, money, living environment, personal growth, health, recreation, community, family, and God. And you're going to place them all on a grid. And what the grid will look like will be, you're going to make a grid, and on that grid you're going to do invest new energy, and then you're going to do keep the same for now. Okay, keep the same for now. Okay, and then you're going to write going well, whatever that is that's working really well. And then you're going to write going not so well, or going poorly, POORLY. Okay, this is your grid. But you're going to use a larger sheet of paper, like a notebook size like this or something like that. Okay. And then you're going to start to make your list. Okay. And then with this on the grid, okay. Okay, my loved ones. Okay, my friends. You're going to put invest new energy, keep the same for now, whatever it is that is going well, and whatever is not going poorly, whatever is working well and whatever is not working well, you're going to put all of that on a piece of paper. But make sure that you use a big sheet. a big sheet of paper like this. Okay? And when you do that, okay, you are going to invest new energy, keep the same. Then on another sheet of paper, you are going to write boundaries, okay? While balance helps us assign proper priorities and limits to our TASKS, we have things that we have to do during the course of a day. Boundaries help us to place appropriate limits on relationship. And basically, where in life do you feel the need for more effective boundaries? And remember the life wheel, and within the life wheel, you are saying either at work, money, living environment, personal growth, health, recreation, community, family, and your spirit life. God. Okay. Where in life do you feel the need for more effective boundaries? What structures do you have in place to keep work from consuming you all or consuming your entire life? Are you making room for personal growth, for personal relationship? Okay. And then at home, carpool, like you leave the house, you leave work at 5 p.m., you get home, do you spend an hour and a half in traffic? How long is the commute? All that other kind of stuff. Like some people, if they spend 2 hours in traffic, in the AM, 2 hours in the PM. That is 4 hours daily. Do you know if you multiply that by 5, that's 20 hours? Divide that by 3. You understand? That's like 3.5 days out of your life a week that you spend sitting in traffic. And then you multiply that by how many months it is in a month and multiply that month by 12. Do you know how much time that is? So people do it for years. Why? Because they either make more money commuting into their jobs or working from home. It all depends. You understand? But you have to factor all of these things into life. And you have to find ways to balance it all. You understand? You have people commuting to other states because why? Because that's the way their life is set up. And they still have to keep commuting and still raising their family and still be a good spouse and still, do the best that they can, but you don't want to demand too much from them as well either, because there's so many things to factor. So you have to do the work life, money, living environment, personal growth, health, recreation, community, family, and your spirituality, because God has to be the center and the glue that is going to hold all of it together. Okay? And let you be the conductor. You can be the conductor of a symphony, or you can be the ringmaster at Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus. It is your choice, okay? So whatever it is, you still have to decide how to deal with it, because I like the circus. The circus is funny. It makes you laugh, okay? Now, what is it costing you? And to not stand up for your boundaries, think it through. What specifically would you have to do? Would you have to say, or not to do, to stand up and to do what? To stand up for yourself and to stop whatever it is from being happening. Okay, because you don't want to live your entire life as a victim. You understand what I'm saying? Now, the next thing is what do you gain from letting this happening, or putting it another way, what do you fear you'd lose if you set these boundaries? What that you still want to keep? What is it that you're willing to let go of, and what it is that you want to keep? And then with the affirmations, okay? The last question is, what needs or drives you or the people around you taking advantage of when they get you to say yes when you want to say no? And what would it take to close those doors or open those doors? Okay, you always have a choice to open the door or to close the door. Okay, now what would help you find the courage or energy that you need to stand your ground? You have to stand your ground, even though we all are dancing a dance in life at some point. But here are your affirmations. Okay, now, for some, affirming, and I say affirmations, affirming others come naturally, okay? And I say naturally because for others like me, it's discipline. And if you have to work at affirmation, these questions will help you to discover new ways to offer affirmation with impact. Okay? There are three fundamental ways to affirm a person. Okay, you can affirm a person by celebrating their person's progress, affirming what that person has done. You have to affirm that person. And when I say affirmation, that means what the person has done or accomplished so far in life. And then you have that expressing belief, sharing your confidence in what you will do in the future. And then you have to do the naming identity. And the naming identity is positively articulating who this person is in their core being. You understand? Who is this person within the depth of their very being? Who are they? Okay, these methods are arranged in order of increasing impact, and it's good to celebrate what you do internally and externally. And it is even better to have someone else believe in you. Okay, so if you believe in you and have confidence in your abilities, it can be a life-changing experience to have the core of your being brought to light and affirmed by someone you can trust and respect. Did you hear me say that? Trust and respect. Celebrating progress. Celebrating progress focuses on what the person has done. What has this person accomplished and that should be celebrated? What specific progress has been made since we've been working together? What has he or she done that I can really say a heartedly yes to? You understand? And how am I affirming the small steps towards this person, or taking, how could I do it better? How can you do it better? Whatever it is, can you do it better? Salam alaikum, my friend. Okay, and then on that, we will close with expressing your belief. And this is very important to a lot of people. You understand? This is really important. Expressing your belief or verbalizing what you believe this person is capable of doing. What do I want to affirm about this person? efforts or commitment? What do I believe about this person's future based on what I've seen so far? What skills, habits, and abilities does this person have that I can see leading to future success? Now, what is this person truly capable of in life? What are you capable of in life? What potential is present here? What future do I see for this person, he or she, or may not have the confidence to see, that person may not have the confidence to see for him or herself, okay? People will see things in you that you don't see within yourself. Why is that? Because sometimes people need a little encouragement and a little inspiration to help them see the potential within themselves, that they are more than just a shell of a being. You understand? We have a soul and a spirit and a body. We are a trifold individual. You understand? Our soul needs a certain thing, our spirit needs something else, and our body needs something else. And to gain that balance within a person that makes up you, the person, the individual, you have to take care of the soul, of the spirit, and of the physical. Okay, and then you have all those other things. Now, what is it this person truly capable of? What potential is present within this individual? Now, what future do you see for this person? And the naming, the identity. You have to give it a name, even though some people name, okay, stay out of there. Don't say anything. The naming identity. Okay, that's for another time and another topic. Okay, naming the identity calls out the true inner self. You understand? You want to get to the true inner self of who you are, and it affirms your character and who you are. What character qualities do I what okay, it's like, say you're going on a date, right? Say you're dating somebody and you see this man or this woman. For the women that are dating men, and for the men that are dating women, and for those that want to just, if you're doing the same sex kind of thing, whatever, to each his own, live and let live, I say. Okay, here is the thing. Now, what qualities do I admire in this person? What is it about this man or this woman or these people or this particular group or whatever, however you want to say it or do it or be it? What is it that I admire about this person? What is the true value of this individual? What inner greatness and incredible potential have I seen regarding this particular person? Now, what can I name? What can I name of this person's call or identity? What is it? Is it what can you name this person's call or identity? And at best, who you are and who are you? And the next thing is, what is the hidden treasures that is within deep inside of this person? And what may be others that that others don't see? Somebody's got to see something. People see stuff in people all the time. You understand? So you understand, what is the hidden treasure? Hidden treasure, TREASURE. A-S-U-R-E. What is the hidden treasure that is deep down inside of each and every single individual or person that other people may see and may not recognize, or other people may not recognize and some people see? So that is your homework for today. Okay, what is that thing that is inside of you that you love about yourself? Okay, and what is the thing or that hidden potential or treasure hidden deep inside of a person that you like, a person that you admire, and about yourself that you actually really see the potential? Okay, so on that note, have a wonderful afternoon for now, and I guess I'll pick it up soon. Okay, so thank you all. Thank you very, 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 very much for joining me for my live workshop for today. Okay, and for my life coaching sessions, these are just questions that I think that you need to ask yourself, as well as, and I ask myself these questions and I see my own potential. And right now, if I told you that I see myself limitless at this moment, I do. But I'm still I see so many things, and I see so many opportunities and visions and so many doors opening, and I just have to say to myself, what am I supposed to do now? I get a little disappointed and discouraged like most people, but I have to see the value in my own self as I see the value in each and every single one of my listeners. Don't forget, you can ask me anything. You can type in a question and I'll answer, or you can DM me on Facebook. And I had to let that go. Girl, if I tell you some of the things that I have to let go and not pay any attention to the point that I'm just to the point of where I'm saying, like, whatever. I've made my peace with myself and I'm okay. I'm okay with life, but this is the only life I have, so I am very, very excited to do what? Live! And live the best way that I can live, because if I don't, what am I supposed to do? I'm not ready to go hang out in the cemetery. So let me do the best that I can do, and whatever happens, I just have to remember that I'm still on my journey, and I'm not going to be the runaway bride. I will show up. I will show up, and I'll know that I can help somebody. Okay, so let me help you in the meantime while I'm helping myself. Okay, have a wonderful day and be happy. Thank you all for joining and for listening. And our next subject will be, I think that's it for today. If anything, I'll come back on and say something, okay? Love each and every one of you. Love you, Levon. Listen, connect with me afterwards, okay? And we can chat. And the next thing is, Mr. Brian, take care of your beautiful family, okay? And who else is here? His name is always in Arabic. How do you pronounce it? Nice, thank you. and just have a wonderful day. Okay. And peace, blessings to each and every single one of you. Love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. Have a good day. Okay.